Okay, we're joined by Derek Hawkins, who I'm sure has surprised quite a few people just this last month with a very impressive marathon debut, 2:14:04. So first up, Derek, why the marathon?
Well, it's something I'd always planned to do eventually. But my aim was to try one in 2015 to see how close I could get to getting a qualifying time for Rio or London 2017. But kind of decided brought it forward a bit early this year because summer I became a bit disillusioned with the track. I've kind of for the last few years tried to blaze my way onto that, but for various reasons it's just doesn't seem to have worked out. As things looked like they were starting to click together around about the start of June, but 2 weeks before the Olympic trials I ended up with food poisoning. At the time I thought it was just a bug, so I kept trying to train on it, which was a bit mad now that I think about it. But when I went to basically the trials, I just flopped. It was a pretty grim experience to be honest. So it kind of left me just a wee bit fed up with it. And after the Olympics, everything seemed to kind of quieten down in the fixture list. So it just seemed like a good opportunity to give it a crack ahead of Glasgow 2014.
And kind of you ran 64:07 at the Great North Run. Was it in your plans to do the marathon even before that race, or was it kind of right? I've run really well here over the half. I'll give the full marathon a go.
I decided about July time to give the marathon a crack, but I'd always intended to do a half marathon in September. My original plans were the Glasgow half marathon, but when I got a place in Frankfurt, I sat down, looked at the fixture list, and the Great North was about 6 weeks before, so it kind of fitted perfectly with training. And obviously, it's a very good course for a fast time, so it kind of made sense to do that.
And what did that run kind of say in the build up to the marathon, and kind of what kind of shape did you think you were in heading into the marathon?
Well, getting into the race, I was aiming to run very low 64s, which I achieved, but at that point, I was still really unsure about how I could convert that into the 26 miles. Kinda, after that, I kind of had it in my head. If all went really well, I could run 2:14, but it's just that point when you just end up in the unknown. I'd never raced further than 13 miles, so I didn't really know what to expect, but I believed that I could run at worst about 2:16, but 2:14 was in my head with all going perfect.
How did you approach the training in the build up to Frankfurt?
Well, before I'd started the marathon training, I'd never been over 100 miles before, so I sat down with my dad and we targeted that we would at most try and hit 110 miles, but try and make a lot of the runs really, really count. So I was actually doing less runs per week than what I was doing in my track work, but the runs were a lot longer. And actually, I got a lot of advice off of John Beattie with his preparation for London, and I was doing a lot of. Well, for example, one of the sessions I did was 4.5k with a k float in under 3:40. For example, and I was doing a Wednesday run. I would do a very large chunk of it at about 20 seconds per mile slower than target pace as well, and I would do on a Sunday, every second Sunday, I would do a 14 to 16 mile tempo run. But I would have, well, for example, one I did was 8 miles at marathon pace, 1 mile tempo, 4 miles at marathon pace, 1 mile tempo, then finish with 2 miles at marathon pace. So I did quite a few of those runs as well.
And do you feel it was them kind of long kind of workouts that held the key to your great performance?
Definitely. The second half I felt very strong. yeah, my second half was a minute faster in the first half, and the last 5K, well, I was pretty tired to be honest, but I felt I could keep it going. I felt I could have pushed it on even more so, but I felt it was those sessions that helped me do that.
And those kind of sessions, I presume you were doing them on your own. Kind of, do you have any other athletes who you can train with up in Scotland? I know your brother's back from America now, so can you kind of link things in with him?
I wasn't able to do a lot with him because he had knee surgery in April,
Right.
and his rehab took a lot longer than expected. So I did all those runs myself, but my dad would come out on the and pass me drinks and whatnot. So, but yeah, that was about it. I did the vast majority of runs on my own, and the odd one with Callum.
And so kind of, yeah, off the back of the marathon, I presume you're back into training again now, and kind of what are your plans for the coming months?
Well, I'm still kind of sitting down when to do my next race. But I will definitely be doing the Ribble Valley 10K. But the next big aim is the London Marathon, because I was inside the 19 qualifying standard for the Commonwealth Games, but the qualifying period hasn't opened yet. So my aim is to try and get the time as early as possible, London being the best option for that.
And as a Glaswegian, what would it mean to kind of run in the Commonwealth Games in 2014 in your hometown?
Oh, it'd be really good having a home support there. I saw the Olympics this summer and the effect it had on all the athletes. The crowd support really did seem to give them all a lift, and yeah, it was good to see them on their side.
Brilliant. Well, thanks a lot for sharing those thoughts with us, Derek. It's been a pleasure, and I wish you every success going forward towards London next year.
Right, no worries, cheers.